Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And after an absolutely gorgeous weekend, we topped off at 79 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. Today, not quite as warm, but still awfully nice out there. And this is up north in Okanagan County, looking down from our Billy Goat camera down at the towns of Brewster and Pateros. And you can see up that way some pretty dramatic clouds beginning to move in, and that will be a change in our weather as we get into Tuesday. In fact, we will see a very active weather pattern, especially on Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, not quite as much, but a pretty wet one for Tuesday and Wednesday, where we could see some heavy downpours of rain, and even parts of eastern Washington could see some thunderstorms and lightning, and we will definitely see some cooler weather. All those details coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Fish and Wildlife authorities are looking into the apparent poaching of a black bear found about 10 days ago on a local logging road in the Lake Wenatchee area. An Everett climber who fell during a Sunday excursion on Mount Stewart was rescued by helicopter. And the 2020 election season will start to take shape this week as candidates begin filing to run for a number of races on the ballot this year. But first, we begin tonight. A body pulled from the Columbia River along the Loop Trail on Saturday appears to be that of a 48-year-old homeless resident. Wenatchee Police Captain Edgar Reinfeld tells us what happened.
So it was Saturday, May 9th, and about 1:45 in the afternoon, we had a report that some people had located a body in the water a little ways south of 9th Street along the riverbank in Riverfront Park. Officers arrived. The person had already been pulled out by the people who discovered them, but he was obviously deceased and unrecoverable. The person has been identified at this point. However, we are not releasing the name information yet, as we're not certain about notification of next of kin.
Reinfeld says there's no sign of foul play, and the man found Sunday appears to have either drowned or fallen into the river after suffering a medical emergency. He's believed to have died either at or near the spot where he was found. An autopsy is still to come. Fish and Wildlife authorities are looking into the apparent poaching of a black bear found about 10 days ago on a local logging road in the Lake Wenatchee area. Sergeant Dan Klump with the State Fish and Wildlife Enforcement Division says there's a reward for anyone with information that leads to a conviction.
The approximate location, I will say up the White River area. It was a mature, older black bear. As far as the sex, it wasn't conclusive on that, but this bear was a bigger, older one. There were trophy-like items taken off the animal, and I don't want to say specifically what because of the investigation. Bear seasons in our area are in the fall. We don't really have any spring bear hunts locally. Just really encourage the public, if somebody's aware of this, to steer us in the right direction, to please call.
Klump says the bear carcass may have been left for 1 or 2 weeks before it was found. The reward amount could range from $300 up to $1,000 or more. Well, an Everett climber who fell during a Sunday excursion on Mount Stewart was rescued by helicopter. 26-year-old Nolan Anderson took a fall in the Cascadian Collar climbing route that was on the south face of the mountain and suffered an apparent broken leg. His partner called rescue agencies about 11:45 a.m., and then a hoist helicopter from Naval Air Station Whidbey Island was soon on the scene. Chelan County Sheriff's Chief of Special Operations said Anderson was flown directly to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. Well, the 2020 election season will start to take shape this week as candidates begin filing to run for a number of races on the ballot this year. Filing week runs today through 4 p.m. Friday, with much at stake locally, statewide, and nationally. All 12th district legislative seats are on the ballot, with Senator Brad Hawkins and Representatives Mike Steele and Keith Gaynor expected to seek re-election. In addition, 2 Chelan County and Douglas County Commissioner seats are on the ballot, as are 3 Superior Court judge positions in Chelan County and 1 in Douglas County. Filings can be done by mail or by dropping the paperwork off at a drop box. Well, coming up next, COVID-19 relief funding is on tap for Chelan and Douglas counties to the tune of about $8.6 million. In order to maintain public health concerns and operate a business in step with new health guidelines, the Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce has convened a recovery council. A pizza restaurant in Chelan was able to raise $1,800 to help restock the local food bank. And Washington drivers have until this Friday, May 15th, to swap out those studded winter tires for regular treads. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Mary Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Mary Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Mary Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today, 509-663-1710.
You want to help others. You need a solid career. You can have both with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, stop by our campus at 595 Grant Road across from Safeway or visit chartercollege.edu.
Welcome back. In another news, COVID-19 relief funding is on tap for Chelan and Douglas counties to the tune of about $8.6 million. The State Department of Commerce says the federally approved money under the CARES Act amounts to $4.3 million for Chelan County, plus just over $1 million for the city of Wenatchee, and almost $320,000 for its 4 other incorporated towns. Meanwhile, Douglas County gets $2.3 million, plus about $411,000 for East Wenatchee, and almost $195,000 for its remaining cities. The money is allocated based on population, impacts from the pandemic, and other factors. It can be used to defray costs to local governments from dealing with the disease. For Grant County and its cities, the total is $7.1 million, and in Okanagan County, it's just $59,000. Well, in order to maintain public health concerns and operate a business in step with new health guidelines, the Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce has convened a recovery council. The council is comprised of local businesses, civic, nonprofit, and healthcare leaders to prepare the region to move quickly to reopen businesses in a manner that protects from further spread of COVID-19. The council was created to engage with and work within Governor Inslee's Safe Start Washington phased plan to help prepare the greater Wenatchee area for reopening businesses. The council is co-chaired by Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz and East Wenatchee Mayor Geraldine Crawford. Well, a pizza restaurant in Chelan was able to raise $1,800 to help restock the local food bank. Local Myth Pizza launched the Raising Dough for the Lake Chelan Food Bank campaign back on April 17th. The restaurant donated $1 for every pizza sold through May 1st, and pizza lovers stepped up with their safe distancing purchases. Well, if you're still chewing up the asphalt with studded tires, it's time to remedy that. Washington drivers have until 1 week from today, this coming Friday, May 15th, to swap out those heavy-duty winter tires for regular treads. Ordinarily, the deadline would have been March 31st, but Governor Jay Inslee and the Department of Transportation extended the deadline so drivers wouldn't have to crowd into service centers during the COVID-19 pandemic. Starting this Saturday, May 16th, drivers using studded tires face a $136 fine. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
The Sangster Motors showroom in Wenatchee continues to be closed temporarily. But did you know that if you're involved in an accident, it's still possible to buy a new vehicle? If you find yourself in that situation, reach out to Sangster Motors and they'll have someone available to help. The service department at Sangster Motors remains open in the event you need a repair. By using the latest guidelines, they can keep you and their staff safe. Pickup and drop off is easy. Call 662-6134.
We appreciate all your business. We appreciate all your support. Everybody stay healthy and God bless you.
Aging and Adult Care offers many in-home care options and services for seniors and family caregivers. But did you know they also offer free in-home delivered meals? Aging and Adult Care has expanded its program for home-delivered meals to help elderly and vulnerable adults at this challenging time. If you are in need of prepared meals or know someone who could benefit, call Aging and Adult Care for more information about free home-delivered meals. Call 509-886-0700.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Serve Wenatchee Valley has been busy collecting and distributing food and offering other assistance to people in need during this COVID-19 outbreak. In tonight's features story, Executive Director Tom Neese told Wake Up Wenatchee Valley's Dan Kuntz he expects the number of people needing their services will grow even more in the weeks ahead.
We jumped our food distribution from somewhere between 50 and 100 boxes of food a week up to over 300 boxes a week, and doing the drive-through food, food bank. So that part has been busy, but with our office being closed, we have not seen the traffic and the foot traffic into the office. We're taking all of those appointments by phone call. A lot of folks have received some stimulus, cash through this time, unemployment, and so there was a real peak at the very front end. Then it kind of leveled off just a little bit, but we know that the financial crisis as a result of this are going to last for months, down the road, and so that's what we have been preparing for. So we've been continuing to do phone conversations. As you perhaps are aware, the governor put into place a no eviction order. So evictions were no longer a problem. However, compiling rent is, and so once the restrictions of eviction are lifted, there's still going to be a backlog in many families. And like you said, the new families that we are serving is huge, because there are folks that have been working at their jobs for many years, and all of a sudden now they find themselves in a need, and navigating through the process, has been challenging for folks.
All right, let's take a check now of your north central Washington weather forecast. Hope you all had a great weekend, and especially a great Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day. A belated one to all you mothers from yesterday. Boy, no complaints weather-wise. Temperatures, as I mentioned, 79 are our official high temperature Saturday, and 79 our high temperature yesterday as well. What a beautiful weekend. Today, a few more clouds. That kept our temperature down a little bit as we look up north, the Billy Goat camera looking down at Pateros and Brewster here in the Columbia River, as well as the Methow River. And you can see those clouds thickening up a little bit to our north, and that is ahead of some of the storminess that we will see over the next 24 to 48 hours. Yeah, it's going to be a wet one as we move through the week. We'll get to that in a second. But high temperature today really wasn't bad. And once again, we were above normal. Our normal now is at 70 degrees. 74 was our unofficial high today. 55 is where we started the morning. 47 is our normal low temperature. 92, our record high temperature in a very hot spring of 1993. 32, a record low in 1985. Sunrise this morning was at 5:28, and don't you love it at night? Sunset now at 8:27. Let's take a look at what we can expect on Tuesday, and one thing will definitely jump out at you, and that is much cooler temperatures as we get into Tuesday, as a pretty strong cold front moves through tonight. 64 degrees in Moses Lake. That's the high tomorrow. 64 as well in Ephrata. 63s then from Ellensburg to Wenatchee and all the way up Highway 97. Omak as well at 63 degrees for a high temperature tomorrow with a good chance for rain. We'll get to that in a second. First, let's start off with tonight as we take a look at our surface loop. 30% chance of showers will begin to develop after 11 o'clock. Here's our weather maker right here. It's been slowly moving up from the south, and that will continue to bring moisture our way after midnight, especially for us. And then on Tuesday, a better chance for the wet stuff, a 50% chance of rain. You can see almost all of Washington and Oregon inundated with some light precipitation from that area of low pressure. That will continue to lift and move to the north as we move into the middle part of our work week. So by Wednesday, mostly cloudy. Our chance for rain will go down just a little bit to 40%, and you can see this area of low pressure beginning to weaken and kind of break up as we get into our hump day Wednesday. For Thursday, a break in our weather, at least in the afternoon, maybe a morning shower, 30% chance of that during the day on Thursday. One thing about it, we will warm up a little bit. A weak ridge of high pressure will slide in as well, and you can see it right here, and that'll bring us a nice Friday. Mostly sunny skies for the end of our work week. It will dry out, and we will see warmer conditions. Temperatures all over Washington state, pretty much between 65 and 75 degrees. And then an even bigger storm system moves in directly from the west on Saturday. We will see increasing clouds throughout the day, and you can see it here. And here's our bigger storm system with the frontal boundary here, and that will continue to make its way into the Pacific Northwest as we get into Sunday. And this storm on Sunday looks to be our best shot at rain in a long time. We could even see some moderate to heavy downpours at times on Sunday. Steady showers and cloudy skies for Sunday, with high temperatures then upper 60s to around 70 degrees. And let's take a look now at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling 7-day forecast. Mild one overnight tonight with the clouds and 53 degrees. A big cool down, right, as we get into a Tuesday. 11-degree cool down, 50% chance of rain, and 63. 68 for Wednesday, a 40% chance of rain. Things will begin to die out a little bit as far as the wet stuff on Thursday, at least in the afternoon. 69 degrees. And then on Friday and for most of Saturday, it's going to be a nice one. 75 for Friday, 77 as we get into Saturday. And then that big rainstorm moves in on Sunday. Cloudy, rain likely, with a high temperature then of 72 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Owner Andrew Vickery brings years of experience to help you transition your backyard into a place where memories are made, family time is looked forward to, and friends are always welcome. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa offers many different styles and sizes of artesian spas, both new and used, as well as residential and commercial pool and spa services, regular maintenance and repairs, and all the chemicals required to keep your pool and spa crystal clear. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa today.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
This is Caitlin Hedersheet, the producer of the NCWLIFE magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCWLIFE magazine right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday to you, staying home and staying healthy. Eric Granstrom on the NCWLIFE channel. The West Coast League came out Friday and announced that its season in summer collegiate baseball would be delayed by at least a month. West Coast League Commissioner Rob Nyer said with Bellingham dropping out a few weeks ago and recent declarations in Oregon and British Columbia, they had to make the tough decision to at least delay the season.
And it hasn't been clear throughout this crisis, this pandemic, what the right thing has been on a day-to-day basis, because so many things change every day. But the weight of the announcements from not only the state of Oregon, the state of Washington, but also British Columbia, just made us realize that even if we're able to play some baseball somewhere this season in the Northwest, which remains our goal, it wasn't going to be a West Coast League season with 8 or 10 or 12 teams playing a fairly uniform schedule. That just isn't going to happen. So that's where we are right now.
Now, Bellingham announced 2 weeks ago that it would not be able to field a team this summer due to the closure of its stadium due to COVID. Nyer says the league is bracing for that possibility of losing Bend and Corvallis in the south, along with Kelowna and Victoria, along with Bellingham in the north. That leaves 7 teams to try to put together some sort of plan for the summer. The commissioner says they're having to be creative.
I can imagine a situation where Wenatchee and Yakima Valley and Walla Walla would just sort of play each other back and forth in almost a month-long tournament. It's just an idea. I could see one city hosting a bunch of games. All the games take place in that one ballpark. I mean, we're all trying to be creative here and come up with ways essentially to allow players to get the work in that they need. It seems quite unlikely that we're going to have full ballparks, right? That's the biggest sticking point, I think, is how can we play baseball without 2,000 people in the stands? Because it doesn't like that's going to be allowed anytime this summer, or at least certainly not in the middle of the summer. I mean, in Oregon, for example, the governor has essentially said there will be no public gatherings, no sporting events with spectators at all until October. Well, so how do you make that work? And our teams are looking at all sorts of options, but at this point, it's just really difficult to say what those would be.
One thing for sure is that there are plenty of players from which to choose. Nyer said it started when the Cape Cod and other similar leagues announced that they would not have a season in 2020. Couple that with the loss of the collegiate season this spring, players are desperate to find a place to play.
Then when other leagues begin canceling, guess where those players go? They go to the leagues that haven't canceled yet, like ours. So if we were able to have a season, a real season, it would have been the best season we've ever had, talent-wise, because players from all these other good leagues were looking for places to play. Getting players would be the least of our issues this season. Now, traveling from state to state or from country to country, that would have been tough. Maybe lining up enough host families would be tough. But all of our teams have been hearing from the players for weeks. We'll play. We need to play.
Following Friday's announcement by the West Coast League to delay the season, Wenatchee Apple Sox owner Jose Oglesby said he's committed to have baseball this summer. He said, quote, "We would not exist without our great fans. We will have baseball in Wenatchee this year. I will exhaust every possible opportunity to provide a creative and entertaining product this summer. It may be different than previous seasons, but we will intend to celebrate summer with our town's favorite sport once again in 2020 when the time is right," end quote. Well, be sure to tune in tomorrow morning to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. You'll see my entire interview with the West Coast League's Commissioner Rob Nyer. And then the following morning, via Skype, Dan will be able to talk with the Apple Sox General Manager Ken Osborne. So be sure and watch for that here in the next few days on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Well, here's what we have this week on the NCWLIFE sports schedule. Begins tomorrow night with one of several great games of our past this week. We're going back to September of 2016 between Wenatchee and Chelan in volleyball. Thursday night's hockey nights is another great game from a magical run in the 2018 season when the Wenatchee Wild took on the Prince George Spruce Kings. Friday is a replay of a very cold night last October when Cashmere hosted Cascade and girls soccer. Then on Saturday, we'll bring a bunch of baseball. Wenatchee hosting Moses Lake from May of 2017, followed by the Apple Sox and the Portland Pickles from last July. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And another victim of COVID-19 to tell you about as we leave you tonight. In light of health risks from the coronavirus, the Wenatchee City Pool will not open for its 2020 season. That's the word from the city of Wenatchee today. The pool was set to begin swimming hours June 13th, but Parks and Recreation Director Dave Erickson says due to, quote, various health, safety, and operational considerations, the facility will remain closed this year. He says the decision was not taken lightly. The city will keep monitoring the public health situation and still hopes to open other parks and rec programs like the Park Wading Pool program, Rotary Park Splash Pad, and day camps that are already scheduled. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Sports director had a chance to sit down and talk Apple Sox baseball and West Coast League baseball with the commissioner of the West Coast League, Rob Nyer. As you know by now, everything has been shoved back. We're now looking at maybe starting some baseball up come July with an abbreviated schedule and a smaller league. Eric's conversation with Rob Nyer will come your way tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, plus everything you need to know, news, sports, weather, the whole 9 yards. Start your day the live and local way tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan, and that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
Boating in the Wenatchee Valley starts at Bob File Boats and Motors. If you're ready for a party on the water, check out the line of Sylvan pontoon boats at Bob File Boats and Motors. Plush chairs at the rear fishing station will have you casting in comfort. And your friends and family who aren't so interested in what the fish have to offer can lounge on luxurious furniture in the front. See the Sylvan line of pontoon boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Bob File Boats and Motors. We're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
With TV advertising, what we want to do is more deeply connect with the community.
People spot me in different parts around North Central, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing it on the radio or seeing it in the newspaper, I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do that than with NCWLIFE.
Do you have a fun or interesting video you'd like to see featured here on the NCWLIFE channel? It's easy. All you have to do is send us an email at newsphotos@ncwlife.com.